The Trinka podcast, academic writing done right. Hi, my name is Dr. KK and I'm very excited to welcome you all to yet another episode of the Trinka podcast. The Trinka podcast covers everything related to language technology, ways and tools in which you can improve your academic publishing workflows, anything related to generative AI in the field of academic publishing, and interviews with experts in the field. We aim to publish every Thursday, India Standard Time in the afternoon. We would love to hear feedback from you regarding whatever we have done so far so that we can improve even further. In this episode, we have a conversation with Dr. Anupama Kapadia, the Assistant General Manager of Inago, the business head for publication support under Inago, as well as the editor-in-chief for Inago Academy. So let's listen in. Hi Anupama, excited to have you here.
Hi KK, excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So you have a storied career in Inago and you have a background of physical therapy, and we share the same alma mater and everything.
Yes.
So how can you explain to the listener how your journey has been from being a physical therapist to what you're doing right now?
Sure. So from a physical therapy point of view, that happened by chance. I obviously at that time there was the CET exam, the Common Entrance Test exam for the state of Maharashtra, and I ranked enough to get into a government college of Mumbai, but just could not get into a medical stream at that point. So I chose physiotherapy because sports was close to my heart. So then, later in life, I wanted to be sports physiotherapist. So that happened. I really enjoyed my time in KEM hospital, which is shared alma mater. So I enjoyed my time there, and I did practice a couple of years after I graduated too. What I realized then was that there were some things in my, in physiotherapy that I wanted to pursue. But again, we're talking about clearly 16, 17 years ago, right? There were things that were not in place, and they did not really suit my requirements at that point. So I just decided to pursue a different stream, in terms of my career. That's when I came across science communication as an emerging field. Crimson happened to be one of the companies at that point that had just started out also. I think the year before, if I'm not wrong. This was in 2007, so yeah, it had started out in 2005 December. And a friend of mine, a senior in fact, was in the same space in science communication. I reached out to him for some advice, and that's how I got into Crimson as a medical editor to begin with. And it was an experiment. It just turned out really well. So here I am.
Wonderful. I mean, I seem to have something similar going in terms of my passion for languages and science communication, and that's why also I am doing this. But
Yes.
you're passionate about science communication, but what is it about science communication that you're passionate about?
It could be different things. I mean, to begin with, what attracted to me to science communication was that I did not want to let my education go to waste, honestly, because I had spent 5 years doing my bachelor's and my graduation at KEM. I did not really want to while it away or not use it at all, because medicine, as a discipline was something that interested me too. Patient behavior, patient health, etc. also interested me. Although I knew that I could not pursue the clinical side of things, but I really did not want my knowledge to go to vain. That was one. Second, I really love the English language. I still do, but at that time it was at an all-time high where I used to read books regularly, right? It was an age that also allowed me to do so. So just a combination of these two things, attracted me to this profession of a medical editor. Later on, obviously, I loved the process, and because the company itself, Crimson Interactive that is, was in a very initial stage at that point, and not a lot of things were set. The flexibility and the freedom to set things, and because I can be called relatively good, despite being a newcomer with not so much training in the profession, etc. I got a lot of opportunities to set a lot of things in terms of process, in terms of training, in terms of systems, and that just made me feel more welcome and more connected to the profession. I think in combination, all of these things attracted me to science communication. And now, obviously, because I have managed, I've been in the management track for the last at least 13 or 14 years. So overall, I love seeing people who are in love with the same things, not necessarily medicine, but their own disciplines, and combined with the love for the English language. Them acting, reacting, interacting with scholarly work, right? That gives me a lot of joy when I look at that. And of course, now also I'm in a field that requires interaction with authors and researchers, leading to author education. That in principle also attracts me and keeps me motivated in this profession. So yeah.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks for sharing this. And for listeners and viewers, I joined Crimson Interactive, and Anupama was my reporting manager. And like her, I joined as a manuscript editor in the field of medicine.
Yes.
And we've come a long way. And I realized that I haven't let you introduce yourself in terms of the roles that you do right now. Right. So let me ask you to do that right now. So can you explain briefly what are the things that you do and the different roles that you currently occupy?
Sure. So, just feel free to correct me if I go into too much of a jargon. But currently, I oversee the Department of Quality and Training at Inago. This team looks after the quality management systems, which is the QMS overall for Inago editorial and proofreading division. Apart from this, I also oversee the business development function for publication support arm of Inago. In addition to this, I currently have a portfolio that includes author education, which is under Inago Academy. And recently, I have been inducted into the Life Sciences division for Inago, which is Inago Life Sciences. So this, in sum, is my current portfolio. So yeah.
You also do webinars and author education workshops, etc. Yes. So how has your experience been? I mean, for me, it is a passion of mine to teach and to communicate knowledge. So how has your experience been when you do these workshops?
Yes. So like I said, when I was a clinician, when I was a practicing physiotherapist, something that always stayed with me was, I used to miss interactions with people other than, those who I have a vested interest in, primarily my team members. So I used to miss interacting with patients and their loved ones, family, friends, relatives, etc. I used to miss resolving their doubts, queries, because obviously they used to have a lot of them. And I used to miss guiding them to a path of solution, whatever their problems might be in terms of physiotherapy. So that has sort of come to around, a circle when I launched Inago Academy in around 2016 or 17, I would say. The thing that attracted me most again was the opportunity to connect with authors and researchers outside Inago, outside Crimson, and just to guide them whatever they need in terms of whatever I know. And that just keeps going because the more questions they ask, the more I research and get back to them, and that improves my knowledge. And it's just a cycle, and it's a wonderful cycle for me because it has also improved and boosted my confidence in facing larger crowds, larger audiences. It has improved, or it has motivated to become a better speaker because I have to be more impactful with different audiences from different backgrounds, to elicit responses, to elicit questions even from the audience. So in sum, it has been a great journey from the point of view of conducting workshops, conducting webinars, or even one-on-one consultation sessions. And that is in fact something that I love the most in my role here at Crimson. But also I struggle to find time to do so because it does require a lot of mental space to prepare for a webinar or for a workshop. It's not just about presenting slides, or you have to be able to gauge the audience, you have to be able to gauge some questions from the audience, and then you'll have to read up a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of prep that goes behind an event like this, be it a webinar or a workshop. But I love and enjoy that part the most.
Yes. Thanks for the explanation and the detail. So now I'm going to string a couple of things. I mean, 3 or 4 things. So you are in charge of the quality and training team, which basically ensures that the edited manuscripts that we send out under Inago are of high quality. You are also affiliated with Inago Life Sciences, and Inago Academy is a place where researchers and authors can learn and improve their, their chops and, the way that they do things in the academic publishing workspace. Now, as part of these workshops, you also mentioned that you have had one-on-one interactions. So what are the common things, let's say life sciences / medicine researcher, we can even say, let's say younger researcher, they're struggling with, and how do you think technology can help them overcoming some of these challenges at least?
So the challenges they vary across regions, I would say, different geographies, and even different universities within a certain geography. So maybe the top 2 challenges that I can think of from my interaction so far. Did you mention medicine research?
Medicine, life sciences, because we are both in that field.
Right. Yeah. So I think the first challenge they all seem to mention is the plethora of information that is available out there. One thing we have to understand is it is not the same as it was, say, 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. Right, the digital age, the digital information age has obviously accelerated a lot, and it continues to accelerate. I'm sure we'll reach that section a little bit in some time, knowing you. But yeah, so that is something that has happened for sure, and not every. So I would like, in this context, I would say researchers are consumers, right? So then they've not caught up really, and neither have most of the universities in terms of teaching them or guiding them. So that is one thing that they definitely struggle with, is the information overload, or how to categorize true from false, or because literature review or looking at information that is already published and that is not, it forms the basis for any medical researcher or life sciences researcher as as something that they will need to pursue in their research careers. So that is one thing they mostly seem to struggle with. Second is, I think, access to funding, literally. So then, if they have funding, they don't know how to get it, or they really don't know what the sources of funding are that are available to them. So again, like I said, it varies from region to region, but these are some of the common points that I have come across.
Right.
Interestingly, the English language barrier that used to be a major challenge, say 10 years ago, that has sort of reduced, I think, over the years, because several university institutions have made a lot of progress in introducing science communication courses in their curriculum for researchers, for young researchers. So if you see the current gen and the next gen researchers, they're relatively well versed with the English language. They are able to ask questions or answer questions in English. They may need most of them definitely need help for polishing, but that doesn't seem to be a top challenge anymore for most of the institutions or researchers that I have interacted with. So,
excellent. Excellent. So I'll have 2 questions follow up to what you just said. The first, let's take the last bit that you said. So in terms of English proficiency, there are science communication courses, but in terms of technology, in terms of tools that can help. For example, Trinka AI is one such tool. Yes. How do you think such tools can help, especially in the context of life sciences and medicine, a researcher to get their publications done faster, more efficiently, so that more of their research time, or the time that they spend in research, is spent on research and not for other things, for example, polishing the English language or things like that. So what are your thoughts on it?
So see, any tool is supposed to increase efficiency, right? So then AI tools like Trinka AI would help the researchers definitely to do things faster and not spend time on menial things in terms of the style, language style, etc., or application of that. Although that it is something that may be taught to them when they're schooling, etc. But at a time when you have to conduct research or publish research, this is probably the lowest in your prioritization cycle. So definitely tools like Trinka AI should be able to help them reach that level of efficiency where they are able to focus on the science and things that are more important from the point of view of dissemination of science rather than the communication bit.
Right.
So as long as they as long as they get the concept right in terms of like not missing out important information to communicate, because that is something no AI tool will do for you. Yeah, I mean, mostly AI tools should be able to help them improve their speed, efficiency, functioning of science communication. Of course, second thing would be tools improve the manual error rate, right, that are generally introduced or overlooked by humans. So there could be less time spent in back and forth between the journal if the journal finds errors that are related to language and could be fixed. So at this time point, in terms of research producing, like basically research production is at a high right now. Right. Every country is trying to produce as much research as possible, which means that there are not enough journals even now. Although we, generally the STM industry tends to add anywhere between 500 to 1,000 journals per year, but still they don't seem to be enough. The challenge of peer reviewers is still there. So overall, the acceptance time may be delayed if the journal has to send back the manuscript to you for language corrections, and which can be completely avoided or at least reduced to a large extent with AI tools. These are the two primary things that I can think of from an individual researcher point of view. There could be other institutional benefits for sure, but yeah.
I hope you had fun listening in the conversation that I had with Dr. Anupama Kapadia and you're inspired by it. The Trinka podcast covers everything related to language technology, the impact of generative AI in academic publishing, as well as interviews with experts from the fields. For example, Anupama Kapadia is a publication industry expert. She's a key opinion leader, I would call her, and also people who are involved in the field of language technology and generative AI, etc. We also have some episode where we discuss the usage of English language. The whole idea behind this podcast is to help you improve your academic publishing workflow so that you can get your work done faster in a more efficient way. If you're listening to us on Spotify or any other major podcasting platform, please rate us 5 stars if you like our content, because that will help the algorithm push such podcasts and such episodes up so that other discerning listeners who want to know more about, let's say, generative AI or language technology or academic publishing will also get such episodes show up when they are searching for content. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell notification icon, and also if you like some of the episodes that we have published so far, share it with your friends, peers and colleagues. We are very passionate about sharing knowledge that we have, and that's why this podcast exists. If you are on social media, we are also on social media. Just search for Trinka AI on any major social media platform. For example, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, as well as Instagram. And also we are on Weibo and WeChat for our Chinese audience. Just search for Trinka AI, follow us, leave us a note, ask your questions, send in your suggestions. We recently had somebody ask the etymology of Trinka, the name. The Trinka AI app is named after Trinka D'Cunha, one of the founders or the brains behind the app, and somebody asked about the etymology of the name and the origins and the context in which it was used as a name for her. So it was fun researching on this and answering, and Trinka herself had fun. So let us know whatever questions that you might have. If you like writing by email, the email address is podcast@trinka.ai, and I promise to go through all the emails that you send and I'll respond to them as fast as we can. On behalf of the wonderful team that supports me in creating this content and publishing it and getting it across to you, this is Dr. KK signing off for the Trinka podcast, academic writing done right. I'll see you in the next one.